Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's just turned 7 o'clock, so we should make a start. Before we start, I'd just like to introduce Andrew Firth. He's the Deputy Town Clerk of the Council. He's going to be checking proceedings tonight. Can everybody hear me?
No.
Can everybody hear me now? Okay, you are hereby summoned to attend the meeting of the Leisure and Recreation Committee of Hemsworth Town Council to be held in the Council Chamber. Hemsworth Town Council Community Centre, Bullenshaw Road, Hemsworth, commences at 7 p.m. on Thursday, the 3rd of November 2022, for the purposes of transacting the following businesses. Before I start, I'd just like to make a statement, if that's okay with everybody. It's a pity some of the councils aren't here. But that's how it is. So before I start question time, I'd just like to say a few things before I continue. I must say that I do have permission from the people I'm speaking about to mention their names, but they've asked me, but after seeking other advice, I've decided not to mention their names, just in case it will jeopardise any future investigations. Last night I was contacted by a hard-working member of staff who works very hard for the people of this parish. She had sent me a screenshot of a post from a fake profile, the same fake profile that was recently abused and accused of some councillors, another hard-working member of staff, his mother, and even an 11-year-old child on their Facebook page. The photo on that Facebook page was removed as an invasion of a child's privacy, but yet this fake profile still continues to post. I'll read the post in question. Fetish, you do tell lies. The council office, Hemsworth, is coming unstuck. You nearly got it right. Still no leaflets, still no police. Office staff has a link to the firm. Relative, did you not know you are trying to blame someone else who do you think pick suppliers or contractors? The people that work in that office, more to follow, especially about a recent food shop they did. Then there is the word naughty, the person's initials, and then a pig emoji. Just to clear up the accusations made, the food order was for sandwiches, etc., that were ordered for the Jubilee Green Tea event. Help was requested from within the council, but due to the Jubilee event the next day, they were obviously very, very busy and they didn't have the time. So they used Ocado where they got a discount. as I said, the last comment, followed the initial, followed by the emoji of a pig, just shows their immaturity and the level of intelligence that these people are working at. I've emailed the clerk to investigate this immediately and to look into the similarities of accusations from other fake profiles and emails that have been received. Could I add that these fake profiles go on about openness and transparency, but yet hide behind false names? And while they are busy scoring points of each other, they are while they're scoring points off each other, they are abusing, insulting, accusing, and harming the very staff that go above and beyond to help the people of this parish. These people, and this is all people on fake profiles, keep saying this area is a laughing stock. They are contributing to it, and it must stop now. We are looking to think of getting the police involved. It is that serious of an incident, as staff should not be taking the abuse that they are taking on fake profiles. So to move on with today's agenda, so apologies for the absences.
Councillors Hardaker and Wilson.
Any declarations of interest?
Actually,
So item 3, public question time. I will start in 15 minutes or so from now. If anybody has any questions. So,
Thornhill. I know it isn't relevant to some of the questions on here, but due to the seriousness of it, I think it needs to be addressed in this meeting. I understand that the breach of GDPR has been broken with not just one resident, but a number. Can you tell me, has that happened? Has the parishioners that it involves been made aware of that? And have you referred yourself to the IMO?
I can say it has happened, or we believe it to have happened. I believe, but I cannot say for sure, that the parishioners have been informed.
Yeah,
All of them.
Yeah,
As far as I'm aware. I can't say that. As for report to the ICO, I cannot answer that. But there is a meeting next week on that similar sort of matter. I can't come up with the reasons why that happened and the way the council is going forward. A meeting was called by myself, Councillor Hurd and Councillor Moran to get that.
I know that Alan isn't in the office, because I've actually sent a number of emails that have just come back saying he's not in the office until tomorrow. In one of my emails, I've actually asked if, seeing as you're the deputy clerk, and because I consider this to be quite important, that you should be CC'd in any emails that come in for Alan, so that if you consider them to be that important, you can respond. So that's something. But I am concerned that if my data has been breached, I need to know, because I know that if my data has been breached, then I have got 72 hours to make people aware, and that is what it tells you. I feel so strongly about it that I will probably be coming in tomorrow if Alan's back, because I need to know if my data has been breached. Because anything that I send to Mr. Draper, and we probably all know what it involves, then I specifically I said he couldn't use my information. So if it has been breached, then I'll tell you now, then people will be involved.
I don't think it is yours, but I mean, Councillor Moran was going to say something.
So there was information shared among councillors that we've seen. We reported immediately to Alan and asked him to report it to the ICO.
That's on to monitoring us.
the monitor office as well, so that's been reported by us, sorry, by Maxine to the monitor office. As far as the ICO advice goes, I think we need to let Alan answer that question, because it's not fair and Andrew, it weren't involved. And I'd like Alan to answer where it's got from there, we can't really speak on his behalf.
Lynn, do you want to ask a question first? I'll come back to you in a second, Sharon, first.
Yeah, the answer's probably going to be yes, because you do the same walk I do every day, but my question is Keithlow still paying rent for the space in front of the allotments on Sandygate? Because that site is an absolute mess, and it's also no longer secure because a load of the Harris fencing has mysteriously vanished.
So regarding fencing,
It's only a question of time before we get either some sort of a health and safety incident, or we end up with idiots up there nicking bricks and chucking them at cars and whatever, because anybody can walk on there now. It is an absolute mess.
so as for the mess and it being there in general, I have reported that to Alan, and I know he has been in touch with Keynote. Where he's with that, I don't know, but I have mentioned it to him. As for paying, doing anything.
Yes, they were, I believe, up until the end of October, which should have been when they vacated the
Oh,
site.
yeah. It's a right mess because it's shockingly bad.
On that note,
Put it on to our
Cheers.
on that note, can we add Horsfield in Fitzwilliam? I forgot what to call it, because everybody's dumping there. Would you be able to get in touch with Wakefield and get it? Oh, no, sorry. What's it
On
called?
Farm Lane,
Farm Lane.
yeah, it's not the Arsefield, it's something that's just.
It's where
hold on, yeah.
they're doing that long digging
Okay.
thing.
So the gentleman there.
Yeah, I'd like to go back to the issue of confidentiality. Mine is one of the statements that has been shared by my permission. I am allowed to say that and check the way.
That's fine.
Right. There is an ongoing investigation. And we've been told that we're limited in what we can say at this point for obvious reasons. But I would like to ask how seriously the council treats confidentiality. That's one question. Secondly, what training the council has received with respect to confidentiality. And thirdly, what sanctions are available for responding to breaches of confidentiality. And fourth, why is there only a handful of councillors here today when it were obvious that this issue would be raised?
As for councillors not being here, I cannot answer that.
Well, we've had apologies for 2 councillors, but not for the rest.
Again, I can answer when council have not attended. Councillor Hurd wants to answer your
I just
other
want
points.
to make you all aware that this isn't the first time we've been seriously breached before, those councillors. Seemingly, it seems to be getting done, but this may, like looks at it,
I think
put a stop.
I think if
It's gonna stop it now, yes.
If my data is being breached, then people better have deep pockets.
I do believe this is gonna be the icing on the cake for us, because like I said, we constantly had a data protection breach.
Fine, it'll be up to it.
You can actually find
Individual.
the individual person, so it's not the council.
And what council do about them people that are doing it?
That's the problem we have got, we cannot do anything.
So-
And even if you look at monitoring officer, there's only so much she can do
Yeah.
because it's all been taken off us. But if this goes to court and these get found guilty, you all can go to police and then you can get them, if they get a criminal record, that's them off with council.
And also if it.
Yeah, but I'm not being funny. You've got one of them councillors that's not here today. And I'm an ex-police officer, right? And I know for the fact he's got one, so why is he on here?
Because it's the land.
You know what I mean?
Would like to come back in, please?
Yeah, I'd like to add that at the end of the day, we were approached by these councillors to provide statements. We didn't actually come forward as complainants, right? And in all honesty, I know that my statement wasn't of an incendiary nature, right? but that's not the point.
Totally agree
The
with you.
point is, we were guaranteed confidentiality. These
Totally
statements
agree with
should
you.
have gone to a panel, and only the members of the panel should have had sight.
But they've
Right?
shared
At
the
this
The
sta- at
panel
that
shared
stage.
it,
The
the
panel
panel
shared
shared
it.
it, we haven't done it.
Now, my data, if you want to call it my data, my name and probably my address, right, has been spoken about in pubs in God knows where, right, and actually, the maximum amount of fine for a breach of GDPR is £10 million, if I'm not incorrect. Because I trained in the GDPR as well, right, now, I'm appalled at it. It just,
We are.
You're not
it
the only one.
shows.
We are.
contempt
I mean,
for
people don't-
community members.
if you saw the stuff what have been breached for us,
So,
and then how.
that's obviously Julie's. Yeah, push it on.
Can I just let everybody know what the situation is? I have spoke to Gillian Marshall, who's actually the chief legal advisor for the monitoring office. Can I make parishioners that's at home watching on Zoom? Thank you, Lynn. You're going to be doing a great service to the community. They need to know what had happened from this council. From certain members on the panel, from certain people that have done it. Maybe one of the councillors is sat here tonight that's done it. They know they've done it, but also the most important is we know they've done it and the monitoring office know they've done it. So just to let people know, if you're in any doubt that you have sent statements that you thought were confidential to the HTC town clerk, Mr. Draper, please can you not send any more statements to him and do them direct to Gillian Marshall, Wakefield Met, Chief Legal Officer for the monitoring office. She will speak to you, a mobile phone number is available. We know there are up to a dozen people's confidentiality that have been breached, that were asked voluntarily to give statements about what's been going on, and these confidential statements have been breached. They have been shared from one panel member to someone else who has read everybody's confidential data, and it's been shared with members of the public. Not acceptable. It's not going to be acceptable. You know who's done it. And the monitoring officer, there is going to be action taken. We have seen District Councillor Melanie Jones also today. We have been in touch with the MP John Trickett. There's quite a lot going on behind the scenes, and as David and I've explained, we're not allowed to say too much at this stage. There is a parishioner watching on Zoom, and as people sat here, if you're in any doubt that your confidentiality by members of this council have been breached, you need to take action. And your first part of call, you need to do it, not via here, via the monitoring office. And Andrew, as the deputy clerk, knows about the situation because we've already had a meeting, 2 or 3 meetings here, and Andrew was asked to sit in on that meeting. Am I right, Andrew?
On one of those meetings,
On
yes.
one of those meetings, yes. So the deputy, although he's new to the position, and I'm sorry that you think this is falling on you, Andrew, you are in the loop, sort of thing. That's why I asked you to be present at that meeting.
I will put a dress on Facebook for
Thank you,
everybody
Councillor
who needs
Hurst.
it.
Thank you.
Yeah, please enough, if you're in any doubt of any statement that you have sent here and your confidentiality has been breached, it's totally and utterly unacceptable, and action needs to be and will be taken. Thank you.
Well, I've actually turned around and said before to Alan, as a council, you have got a duty of care for every parishioner that is attending these meetings.
I totally agree, and I cannot disagree with anything that has been said, and I think you've got people here who all totally agree with you. It has been reported as soon as I mean, there were 3 or 4, 5, 6 was all, we emailed, we had on saying, this is GDPR, this is a breach of GDPR, all that sort of stuff. All I can say is that, and I do hope and pray that it does get the investigation that it actually does deserve. Like yourselves, I've done GDPR at work. Going back to one of the answers, there is courses that are sent through. If a councillor decides not to take that or to take that, it's up to the councillor. I know some have done it, some haven't. it is, yeah, I don't disagree with, I don't disagree with.
What about sanction?
I don't know of any sanction, I don't know what sanctions can be taken, but I can assure you that I will be looking for the hardest sanction that we can possibly, I will be voting for the hardest sanction that we could possibly give. Because it is, it shouldn't have come out, it's disgusting, it has come out, and it was common sense, it shouldn't be like it out. Forget GDPR, it was common
We were
sense.
actually approached.
Yeah,
right?
that as well.
We didn't come forward, we were contacted.
Yeah.
And asked to provide statements.
It's wrong, it's totally wrong, and I cannot apologise enough. And all I can say is what I've just said. It is, I hope it gets investigated correctly, hope
Yes.
external bodies investigated correctly, and that the strictest sanctions that are possible are fettered out to the people responsible.
The maximum fine is.
And maximum, whatever it is.
It's not.
There it is, go on, Vicky.
Could you not make it so, like, we know everything, these council seats are up next May. But could there not be something written into like, the code of conduct for councillors, that they do sit GDPR training? Because it's serious.
I'm not sure if this council could do that on its own, but our rules are set out by the government, not by council.
It's the NL,
Now,
so there are loads of courses available, I've been on them. Yeah.
Whenever there's a breach, we've been told we've had to go on
Yeah,
courses.
it's been offered to us.
Yes, we've had these courses, we've been on courses. In fact, we went on a course and I got my data protection actually breached on that course. If you remember, that's what kind of thing we're putting up with.
What I find ironic. Right,
Yeah, yeah.
what I
It's
find ironic-
actually on the course in front of the
Yeah.
trainers. It's like,
Any of it.
can we just have one conversation, please?
What I find ironic is in the profession that I was in, right, until I retired. If I'd have breached confidentiality, I could have expected a disciplinary, right, with quite severe sanctions. Right, irrespective of any financial sanctions. That's what would have happened. So what I'm asking you is, if it's proven that there has been a breach of confidentiality, is there anything akin to that process where the town council is concerned?
It's an interesting one, because as far as local parishes are concerned, they aren't sort of, what's the word I'm looking for, reportable or whatever it is. They don't report to anyone. So, for example, when I run as part of the Labour Party, and I should imagine that if this was me that had breached the state protection, I would get quite a telling off from the Labour Party and probably have, a membership removed, sanctions put in place. That's not in place as far as I'm aware. Well, I know it's not if you run as an independent. As far as sanctions are concerned, the monitoring office can, I understand, advise the council on what to do. We can, as a council, raise no confidence motions in individual councillors,
off committees.
and we can remove them from committees, not quite that, so thank you. But as far as sanctions are concerned, I don't think there is any. I don't think that's terms of town council only. I think that's
You can as a business, if a business.
As a business,
as a
yeah.
business, it isn't just a business, it's also groups. I've looked at this, it's groups, it's individuals.
as far as the sanctions are concerned, from fines and things like that. But as far as what we can do as a councillor, can we remove someone from the council? No, we can't.
Can the monitoring officer?
No,
No.
the monitoring officer.
It's not
all
an
the council
that's just how it is, and that's countrywide.
Right.
If this was a member of staff, yes, we could. If it's not, no, we can't. It seems to be no, we can't. Which is not right, but these are the rules that we are having we abide by. We don't agree with these rules. We believe the monitoring officer should be able to have some power. Sadly, it was David Cameron's big society that brought all this in, where
But my email went into Alan, and he's an employee.
He's an employee, but if it's, I don't know what but if your email was intended for a panel, Alan is quite within his rights to pass that on to the panel.
No, my email was to Alan, and he then wrote to me and said, could he pass this information on? And it was 2 people. And I specifically said no, because my email would identify myself, which would open me up to harassment and intimidation.
As far as I'm aware, all I can say is, as far as I am aware, your did not, has not been breached.
So she should not be getting it.
I mean,
The panel has seen all these emails.
yes,
I'll
If
take that
if
next time on
permission
the
was
panel.
given,
if permission was given,
so,
So have you seen mine?
Yes, because I'm on the panel.
and then did you get permission from the panel?
No, no, I didn't. I was never told.
Just read-
I was never asked if my email could go to a panel.
Have you actually got? How many emails have you got?
I
The
was-
best of my knowledge, I've got all the emails.
Could go in front of the panel.
You should pick that one up and-
so it's all, Kathy's saying. Yeah, so.
No, that's different.
We will pick that one up.
Well, you better let me know by tomorrow, because I will be getting in touch with my solicitor. Yeah.
Good lash.
If my information has been breached, because I've got everything saying that I have not given permission for my information to be shared.
We agree, if that's the case.
If it's been shared and you said no, then we'll look into it.
Yeah, we definitely.
All the
We'll let
emails
you
that
know.
come from the town clerk when you were request, if you could help with an investigation about this panel. The town clerk's already breached several things on confidentiality
Just
by naming
yeah.
the people that were on the panel.
Just to let you know, when it comes to giving statements, the person who you're giving the statement about has to see them statements. You do not. You
And I-
do not have to let that
I
person see
I
that
was-
statement.
It was that, and I said,
Well, that
no.
was already.
I know, but I'm just letting everybody know, if that's been done, then it's wrong.
That person already knows, because that person is one of the people who was involved what were in the statements.
Yeah.
I haven't got a problem saying what were in my statement. When I want to do so, when the investigation is complete.
Again, we can only agree, and we will. I know members here today, treating this very seriously, again, that's why the next extraordinary meeting's been called
We can only
for
apologise.
next week, we can only apologise on behalf of what's happened.
It's not even down to us.
The thing is, yeah. If it has been breached, as you said, and Kathy does go to a solicitor, does she take them to council? Or does
Yeah, I
she
believe
take
she
the
should.
individual?
I believe she should.
Is it the individuals with that, or is it?
No, I'll be taking
Oh,
everybody.
And then members of council should be taking the individuals.
But there is a slight problem. When we provided the statements, we knew that these statements would be sent on to a panel.
No, I wasn't.
Well, we did.
No,
At the
but
time.
I wanting to make a complaint the next morning.
Yes.
I made a complaint regarding two people. I was asked whether that could be forwarded on to one person, which I said no, and told them what they should do, what Alan should have done. And then I got an email to say, could my email be sent on to someone else? And I said, no, due to the fact that that would identify me and open me up to intimidation and abuse. So I've probably 4 emails.
Conscious of time, so I'm going to move on.
Can I just ask one thing? Councillor McGuinness, thank you so much. We know and appreciate you just said you're on the panel. Is any other members, councillors, you sat here, willing to admit that they're on that panel? Thank you, councillor Dodson. Thank you. I know there's another member, is that the member? So councillor Hurst, you were on that. So you'll be privy to all information, you've
Yeah,
seen
but
all the statements.
I'm not going to talk about the investigation.
No, I thought you probably wouldn't do. Thank you, that's all you need.
So ladies and gents, I'd like to move on now. I think we've discussed a lot quickly.
Right, seeing as how we know for a fact we own Kingsley Memorial, can we get it cleaned up, ready for Remembrance Sunday, please?
Oh, we're doing that anyway.
It's not been done yet.
So it needs doing. I've seen some of the workers down there.
No,
last week.
It's not been done yet.
So-
With the bench in front of it, weren't there? But that's not ours.
Model.
I want to raise a question about these leaflets. That was supposed to have been on the newsletters, thank you. That was supposed to be sent out to members of the community. Right, and apparently, the company that actually is supposed to distribute it are not answering telephone calls. They're not responding, they've not sent the money back that ends the town council pay for the service. And now we're understanding that this money, which is actually our money, is going to be written off.
And it's
Right, right, yeah.
So
So just to answer that question, no, the money isn't going to be written off. We are going to pursue the
You
company.
are going to pursue.
We are going to pursue the
That's not
company.
what we were told originally.
We're no longer using that company. We're no longer expecting that company to deliver any outstanding leaflets. And we've come to the conclusion that's just not going to happen.
I'm gonna issue a full.
Are they going to give you the refund?
We're going to pursue them for a full refund. Yeah.
Who actually picked the company to deliver it?
That's an interesting question.
As a council, why didn't, who picked them? Who said this company's got to
I
deliver them?
think it was actually picked out of good nature, wasn't
think
it?
it was, yeah.
It wasn't,
It's done in-
I'm not
done
gonna,
in good faith.
I'm not gonna name names because it's upsetting, but it wasn't done maliciously, and it wasn't a friend of a friend, and it wasn't what Mr. Ferret's been saying. This was done out of goodness of the person's heart. We couldn't use the staff because we were busy. So this company, what just turned out to be the shittest company walking. It was not.
But nobody took Lynn's advice where Lynn had actually said about how to do this. Nobody,
I think that was more about how to do the leaflets, though, wasn't it? I mean,
Lynn said about the company that she
We thought we was getting a legit company delivering the leaflets.
But what diligence you actually done on that company?
Because
it's a company that appears online, it's got reviews, they've used it, it's failed. We're pursuing a refund. I don't think there's any more we can say about it. Things happen like that,
All we were concerned about when we were told.
The money will be pursued. You can't say we're definitely going to get it back, you never can you? But as Andrew said, we're trying to get that money back.
But Donna, why did we pay
Ladies and gentlemen,
before the item were delivered? Surely an invoice, you've got 30 days to pay it.
Isn't it? You order items, you pay for things beforehand.
ladies and gents, let Lynn ask one question. Which was actually something was said to Lynn, and then I'm going to move on.
I just wanted to actually say that company, when I saw the name, I thought, hang on a minute, that seems familiar. Where do I know that from? And I went and had a look, and I have a little pile of leaflets from leaflet drop companies that are there for me to try if the guy that I use ever lets me down or can't take the order. And sure enough, that leaflet quite legitimately in my pile. So I could have been conned just as easily, to be fair.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. So, ladies and gentlemen, item,
About a point of order on the chat.
Councillor Jones.
No, I just went to see the hiding it, so I'm not saying.
No, look.
If I could get them out.
They all look out.
There's only one there.
She was told they coming tonight, so everybody's me.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to move on now. So, item number 4, minutes to receive and approve the minutes for the meeting held on the 28th September 2022.
He knew what it said.
Move them
Second.
before you sign it.
Come on, Jean.
No, I was told today, there's been a message left on the floor today that it was going to come up tonight at the meeting.
Okay, item 5.
Said about.
Item 5, no license application. Consider a license application submitted to WMDC on your licensed premises in Hemsworth.
I think this is gonna be a good thing for them, with me. I certainly do. Great afternoon, aren't they?
So
It's just to make people aware.
people where there's the license, I think it's the after the old carpet shop.
Yeah, yeah, I think
Got it done properly.
yeah.
I think the reason it's on the agenda is that just to make people aware that they do want to, how they want to. If they do want to, what's the way of looking back
Complain,
complain, not complain, object.
object.
Thank you, Lynn. If they want to object, then you got Wakefield Town Council's website.
So item number 6, Hemsworth Water Park, invasive fish in the lakes. To consider the incidence of invasive fish in the lakes in the park. Now, I think we've all seen the photographs and is it a catfish that's, is it
It's not a cat.
It's not a cat.
catfish, a pie, whatever it is? So anybody with any ideas or suggestions we should do?
We need to go through law with this, to tell you the truth, because the law states that over a certain 65 centimeters, we're not allowed to touch them, bring them out of water, and we need to get some fishermen in to get the babies out, and then those big ones will keep nature going. You understand what I mean?
Yes.
So when we put new fish in, it will sustain that, where there's, we're not having nothing.
So what was it, basically, we're trying to.
We need to get the parasites out, in other words, really, we need to get the babies out, make sure that they're not gonna keep reproducing and overtake that lake. Or we're gonna have no ducklings left. They'll eat ducklings, and stuff like that.
Any idea how we do that?
So why can't we ask local fishermen to come down?
You know why?
Facebook and it was just ignored.
Yeah.
So what?
Especially down here. On Facebook, and it was ignored. It got turned down. Can't remember. I can't remember his name.
When was this?
Yeah, I think so.
We just need to get Alan or Andrew to look in what correct procedure is.
Yeah, that's it.
The correct procedure this is we've got to do it by law, so this, like I said, if I think it's over 65 centimeters, we can't take them out. Then you break it, the baby, move them without actually killing them and move them to somewhere else.
Yeah.
So
Moving on, ladies and gents, to item 7. Okay, sorry, Alan, see you. For reading, not for this.
No, you got on about the fishing, there's fishermen been down to try and do this, to look after what's down there and stuff like that, and they're being told to go away.
I'm not aware of that, but
Well,
we can look into that.
Look into it.
But we also need to, we just can't have everybody just going down trying to fish, we need to control.
They're not, they're trying to control it.
Please.
No, well,
Excuse me?
that's my name.
No, a bit more, please, Lynn.
There's a gentleman called Matthew Taylor on the live stream suggesting that the right way to do it is to get a company in and do it properly.
Yeah, well, we need to.
I'm assuming he's one
We're
of the.
gonna have, yeah, that's what we're saying, we're gonna have a look at it, how we can do it properly.
Yeah, there's been proper people gone down to do it properly, and there's been somebody told them.
what we need the local fishermen to tell us what we need to do.
Yes, they do, yeah.
It sounds
I'm
like,
not a fisherman, but
That's what we're
it
saying.
sounds like this guy's saying there's a company that can do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's somebody telling them that they've got to go on.
Company involved and then the company.
That'll be good, yeah.
Water park, have they?
Go ahead, please.
Not-
Oh, let's go, move on. So, item 7, subject access requests,
To receive.
thank you. And item 8, freedom of information requests.
What's that? Oh,
Again, 2 freedom of information requests received.
can we actually
Right, thank you.
get these
needs to come off.
orders off, so you don't have to bring these?
I think you said that last time.
I said that last
I
time.
think
and
what
they
we-
didn't-
They're taken off,
Cool.
Alan can progress them, he just let us all as 2 that
Yeah.
have been done.
So what,
I don't know why, we need to know, but
I think it's right, and Andrew can tell me, we progress them,
Yes,
and then we just report them in the meeting, is that right?
that's correct, yeah.
So they have to progress as quick as possible. Or
No, because I'm still waiting, and you've gone over my 21 days.
I don't know that place.
There might be another one as well, councillor. Melanie Jones. She's still waiting for one as well.
I put mine in at the same time as Mel.
Yeah, it's over 21 days.
No, it's not opposite, no, I don't think it's. Might be, I think it's 21 days. No.
Could we ask Alan for an update on where we are with all outstanding requests? So how many are more than 21 days, how many are left?
Might be, Mel's might be before mine.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the meeting, and thank you all for attending.
So you don't want to bring that up without it, perfect.
What?
No, that's.